Hey Kay, morning, good afternoon, connecting your audio. Kay, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Kay? Hello? Kay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Try coming back in.
Hi, David.
There you go. Now I can hear you.
How's it going?
Cool. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. I was talking to you and shouting and saying hello and hello, Emma. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Just want to see if this is going out on our Facebook network. What am I doing?
Oh, is that Kay?
Yes, hi.
Kay, you were on the same Art of Living course with me. Yeah, hi.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I thought I recognized you, but I couldn't place you. So I thought maybe it was my imagination. So I'm glad you made the connection. Thanks.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it.
Awesome.
So just waiting for a couple of other people to join.
Okay.
Super.
Okay. Hello, Timothy.
Yeah.
Kevin, you moved to New York.
I
Fantastic.
did. Oh, somewhere. I'm getting a big screen that says Pocket Rehab. Is that correct? Oh,
Yes.
there we
It
go.
should say peer recovery specialist training.
Oh,
Oh. Okay. Right, who are you missing?
a lot of people, I think.
Iman, Leslie, Anita, Gwen, lots.
Gwen said she'll come in a bit later. She's just running a bit late. And I believe you guys all got kicked out of the Zoom room yesterday at 5.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay. How was the rest of your session though?
It was good.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay. There's Leslie. Great. How are you, Timothy?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Leslie, how are you doing?
Hi, good. Thanks, David. How are you?
Great. We'll just leave it a couple more minutes. See if Kiki joins us. What's the most important outcome of the first session?
Let people come for the next one.
Cool. How many did we start off with? I think we had 9 on the first day.
I seem to remember it was about 15, David.
Oh, was it 15? Oh, okay. Oh, wound me, rip my heart out.
But that doesn't necessarily have to do with you. I mean, it's also got to do with the commitment that people make, I guess.
Yeah, it's all got to do with me. I'm so self-centered.
Not all about you.
All right, so what's the first thing we do?
We check in.
Great. There she is. Come on. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Great. Welcome.
Birthday.
Thank you.
Is it your birthday? Wow.
My birthday. So I'm just checking in, very excited and happy.
Cool. Well, thank you for being so committed on your birthday.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'm going to give an hour. I'm even baby free for this hour. So it's very exciting.
Okay, cool. So you might even stay awake.
That's the plan.
Cool. All right, Kay, do you want to start the check-in?
Yes, checking in, feeling very lazy.
Okay, cool. Timothy.
Yeah, Timothy, checking in, relaxed and in control.
Cool. Emma.
Emma checking in, feeling, grounded, centered, enthusiastic about this class.
Cool. Kevin.
Check-in happy, I think, is the biggest one. Happy and excited to be here.
Oh, Leslie.
Checking in, feeling like maybe I don't want to be doing this, but I know that I will be really glad when I've done it. So I started this morning today off feeling super excited about absolutely everything. Kind of gone a little bit down and tired right now. So maybe that's just what it is.
Okay. Come on,
Thank you.
Kiki.
I'm checking in, feeling happy and excited.
Okay. Great. So what have you guys learned so far? Day 3, the system. What have you learned up until here? Again, if it's just one at a time, please.
We've learned a lot. Definitely learned the 3 C's, the 3 levels of listening.
Okay. Great. What are the 3 C's?
Check-in, contract, and container.
Great. And what's the feeling in this container right now?
There's some trepidation,
Mhm. Yeah.
but it seems joyous.
Joyous. And also some fatigue. Huh?
Mm.
It's like, oh, really, do I really have to do a whole webinar now? Okay. All right. Cool. Good. So what else? Who got kicked off yesterday at the end of an hour early?
We all
Me.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Kiki was coaching Timothy.
Sorry about that. Yeah, as we just
Timothy and I, we rejoined the group. Okay, I'm getting my baby back, so I'm just gonna go onto stop video.
Okay. So,
Yeah, we rejoined the group and we continued with the coaching, the 2 of us. So we managed to go through the process, finish the process, and get to where we wanted to.
fantastic. And what did you learn from that?
Well, honestly, I learned to listen to myself, and listen to what my feelings are telling me, and not to ignore them. So we managed to explore alternatives to what probably decisions or things that we have in our minds, and maybe we looked at what could be alternatives that we will, as an individual, that I'm not seeing or I'm clouded. So yeah, so I learned it exploring those areas.
Yeah, I think as an observer, as Timothy was saying, as an observer, it really came to light the whole thing about that the client actually knows what they need. And that was also because I was coached by Leslie yesterday, and that also came out for me. It's like you actually know what you need to do, but you maybe just need a little bit of guidance or to get there. So that was reconfirmed yesterday for me.
Okay. So the client knows. Okay. They often just want some reassurance.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think, Dan, if we're all honest with ourselves, we do know what we need and want. I think that just often we've never been asked or listened to, so you're not used to expressing your needs and wants, even to yourself sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Kevin, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think what keeps coming up is powerful questions, open and closed questions. even if it's a fishing expedition, ask the question. It's gets the other person to ask themselves what the answer might be. So making them do the work.
Okay, cool. So Emma's joining us. She's done the training before, and she's just joining us today and maybe tomorrow if she wants. Yeah, but let's just recap what we've done. All right, so we started off, well, the reason for this crash course is because of the crisis that we're facing with a whole lot of people that have had to go into forced withdrawal. And we put this together to see how we could help to try and upskill people so that they could learn the peer recovery specialist training. Yeah. And then we spoke about the spirit of Ubuntu, that it takes a village to raise a child, and that we're all in this together, and that we're not going to leave any man, woman, or child behind. And we're here to talk about what coaching is and what recovery coaching is and how that's different from other forms of business coaching, life coaching, sports coaching. And then we spoke about our platform, the campus. For those of you that if you want to kind of go on and move on and get certified about the campus, you would join, about our global community. Yeah. Then we went on day one, how to have the conversation. So very quickly, the coach is responsible for this, and the client is responsible for that. And the way that the framework of the conversation is, we have the 3 C's, the agenda, we ask questions, we listen at levels 1, 2, and 3, and that's the job of the coach. And the client comes and tells us, we listen for their needs, their values, their purpose, how to forward the action and deepen the learning. And then when they come back, to ask them if there's anything that they're accountable for. So the coach's job really is to hold the relationship here. Does that make sense? And the relationship needs to move from a culture of addiction towards a culture of recovery. Making sense? So that's what we covered on the first day. 1 second. Save, clear all drawings. Stop it. Okay. Sorry. So the next day we spoke about the continuums. And so when we engage with our clients and we have a conversation with them, we find out where they're at. Yeah. Are they on their way towards premature death, or they're moving towards high well-being? Where are they on the continuum of use, misuse, abuse, and dependence? Yeah. So these patients or clients who we were talking about that are in this homeless shelter, they're all physically dependent to an opiate. And because they've been housed in this temporary shelter, they're unable to go off into the streets and raise the money to get their daily fix. So they've now gone into opiate withdrawal. And there's a medical intervention happening to address the physical side of that. What isn't happening is the EQ side of it, the emotional side of it. How can we provide emotional support to someone when they're going through withdrawals? Yep. And what happens once they've gone through the physical withdrawal, usually what happens is there's a depression that sets in, and the person thinks, oh, well, what's the point of living my life? I might as well go back to using. Yeah. That's the thing with opiate withdrawal. Then we spoke about the relationship of two people. Yep. Is that relationship codependent, where this person bases all their emotions and feelings on the behavior of this person? Or is the relationship at a place of interdependence? Yeah, where I'm okay for my side of the street and you take care of your side of the street? Or is the relationship one of independence where I want nothing to do with you? I've detached from you. Does that make sense? And then the last one at the bottom is this client moving from a place of addiction towards harm reduction, towards abstinence? Okay, making sense? Yes, David, it's making sense. Thank you. Okay, are we having fun still? Come, people, we must have fun. We've got to try and keep Leslie engaged. She's just thinking, oh my God, why am I wasting my time here on this bloody webinar? God, these people are all mad.
Stop.
Huh?
Thank you.
Sorry, David, can you just explain again the codependent, independent?
Okay, so when a relationship is codependent like this, the one person here bases all their emotions on feelings on another person's behavior. So they lose all sense of self. Did that make sense?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So and I don't want to judge this as a good thing or a bad thing, morally right or wrong. But if we were to talk about your relationship with your baby right now, damn straight it's codependent. When your baby freaks out and is uncomfortable, you're going to freak out as a mother. Yeah. When your baby's all feeling nice and comfy and cared for and cozy, you're going to feel absolutely like you're doing the right thing. Does that make sense? It's like that child will not survive without you, and you're wired in a way to give everything towards that baby. I know with my children, when they were babies and they were crying, that sound would go straight through my being. And it was like I would get all kind of anxious, like, how can we get the baby quiet? Does anyone want to say anything there? No? God, you're all bored, I can tell. God. All right.
I'll say, but that's a healthy and necessary kind of codependency. It's more adult among adult when it becomes like need another person to validate your life and for your well-being, then it's unhealthy.
Exactly. Yeah. So what we're looking for in codependent addictive relationship is to move towards a place of interdependence. And for that to happen, both parties need to work on their recovery, whatever that is. So in the family system, yeah, where the one person's a substance user, the family members also have to work on their stuff. Well, they don't have to, but it would be helpful. So me at the clinic, when our patients come in for treatment, our patients get a much better outcome when the individual works on themselves and the family members work on themselves and they meet at a place of interdependence. So we're going to go more into that today around the system. Okay, it's making sense? Are we good?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Great, cool. All right, so let's just clear this and let's go to the, what am I doing? How do I get the next slide? Too far. All right. Clear. How do I clear that? Great. So here we are today, yeah, at the system. And here you are as a coach. You're sitting in the center here, the center of the system. There you are, frazzled coach, thinking, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And your job is to be as authentic as possible. Do you give medical advice?
No.
No.
Cool.
No.
Do you give therapeutic advice?
No.
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 Yeah. Do you tell your clients what to do?
No.
No.
Okay.
Apart from
Great.
come next week, no.
Pardon?
Apart from coming to the next session, no.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Are you aware? Sorry.
Sorry. If you like, I have some experience with like herbs and supplements. So can you say for depression, not recommend, but you can suggest taking something like magnesium, or is that just like a no-go zone? For example.
So if you're trained as a nutritionist, you say to your
Okay.
client, listen here, I'm not going to coach you now. I'm now going to advise you as a professional nutritionist, and I'm going to put that hat on.
Okay.
Yeah. So a
Okay.
psychiatrist that learns coaching skills, they'll say, listen here, I'm putting on my doctor's hat. This is what your diagnosis is, and here's some medication to support you. Doctors
Okay.
that engage with a coaching relationship often have a much better bedside manner. And when doctors have a good bedside manner, the patient outcomes are often better. Yeah?
Yeah.
But as coaches, we do not advise.
Okay.
Yeah?
Thank you.
We sit in an environment that's in crisis, chaos, and conflict. It's a proper mess. Yeah? That's what a culture of addiction is. But what we do want to be aware of is what recovery capital resources are available to the individual. Okay? So here comes a client, a patient, a user, whatever you want to call, but they want to engage in your services. Okay? So you have a relationship with that individual. Does that make sense? Or, let's draw this, a family member might come to you and engage in your services as a family member. Yeah? And then you would coach that relationship. Or a workplace environment might come to you and want coaching around the workplace environment. And then you would handle that relationship. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so let's go through what we're trying to do here now is identify the role players and look at the interrelationship of the system. Okay, so who is the client?
Whoever approaches you for
The
support.
person that's in front of you. Yeah. Okay. So what type of clients are there? Let's just kind of role play a couple of clients.
There's people that are trying to get into like a primary facility or like get help.
Okay. So talk me through the case.
Say for instance, if I'm at Working Wednesday, where
Yeah.
we have our outreach program, and
Yeah.
I've got clients, or I've got a group that I'm working with in the community, and maybe one of two of them would like to enter into a rehabilitation, into a primary facility, and they maybe don't have the resources as yet, and they don't really have the confidence to do it. So they're kind of like teetering on like, should I do it, shouldn't I do it, and they want to come chat and ask me how I can help, and instead of like me saying yes, I think you should do it, I kind of like believe this coaching would be better.
Great. Thank you so much. Who's the client?
Must I give a name or sorry?
No, I'm asking the class. I'm asking the class.
Okay.
Who's the client?
The person who came asking for help or assistance.
And who's that?
Edit.
No, Kiki.
Oh,
Kiki's come here now. Yeah. Or Kimon, what do you like to be called? What should I call you?
I like Kiki. Kiki's cool.
Okay, so Kiki's come to me now and she said, listen here, I work at a facility, yes, where clients come to me and ask me for help and what must I do? Yeah.
okay.
I'm now identified the client as the person who's sitting in front of me, because I'm sure Kiki sits with a lot of care and compassion and anxiety around how is she serving her clients. And her clients are on the continuum. What a great example, Kiki. Thank you so much. They're on the continuum of use, misuse, abuse, or dependence. So the first thing is Kiki will identify whether this person's just a user, they're misusing, they're abusing, or they're dependent. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yes.
And then on the bottom here, she's going to notice if they're addicts, addicted, if harm reduction is a good start, or if they're able to get to abstinence. Excuse my handwriting. I'm not a doctor. I just write like one. Okay. So Kiki, this is a wonderful example. Tell us about the recovery capital resources you have in your area.
Okay, so as a community organization, we ask for donations from our community to help our substance abuse clients in recovery to get into primary rehabilitation. So we have some sort of sponsorship in form of money, and we definitely have access to feeding programs, housing, and also like, I wouldn't call it sponsorship because it's not sponsorship in the form of like NA. It would be more like mentorship. We've got like a lot of willing community members that maybe can't give financially, but they want to help emotionally.
Fantastic. Okay. So what would the rest of the class say in terms of recovery capital here?
But there's a lot of it. There's a lot available. A lot of options available.
Yeah, it feels nicely resourced, huh?
Yeah.
Hey? All right. So what's the process? Kiki?
Well, the process in this container, I would think, which we've been lacking is this coaching.
Okay.
For example, I think just myself and Kay being on this classroom is so important because we kind of like don't, and that's what I also said to Jonty, he will teach me everything because I wasn't sure about these steps. And that's what I was saying, David, I really like this language you're using because I've never heard this language before, you know. And so the process for us is commitment. When we see somebody that is committed to coming to our working Wednesdays, to showing up to that weekly class, to showing up to our weekly community dinner, to just keeping in communication with that person, that is the first step. So once somebody shows a bit of commitment, then we're willing to walk with them. And what I always find very amusing is that so many people ask for assistance, but they don't show up the next day. And in the last 3 years, we've only had 2 people show up the next day.
Great. What's the most important thing of the first session?
Commitment.
To get the client to come back for the second session.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So why do you think that happens?
I think people they're fearful.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay. All right. How does that impact you?
I've learned to, over the years, to detach from getting too excited. So yeah, that's why I think yeah, it's in the beginning I really thought that everybody would come to the follow-up. Like, yes, they would say, you know, Kiki, we heard you can finance. I heard there's finances available for a primary. And I said, awesome, meet me tomorrow here and we can go through it. And then the person doesn't come, So then, yeah, you kind of like just feel, okay, it's not up to me. That's why I can't be a cheerleader for everyone. And that's why I think coaching is so valuable.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
All right. So on this side of the continuum, let me just try and get the right color. Yeah, is here's independent, interdependent, and then codependent. Okay, and I'm just going to take a stretch here and say when you use the word all enthusiastic to go and do something and then they don't show up and then you feel disappointed.
Yeah.
Would you say that that would kind of be in the codependent type arena?
Definitely.
Okay, and where you're at now is interdependent. So if they come, great. If they come, great. If not, I'm not going to kind of feel bad about it. It's the nature of the beast. Is this making sense? It's really, really important to get there because Kiki's the client here and she brings all her love and compassion and care, and it feels as if, yeah, that's not being taken up, honored, respected. Personally, I feel I would get compassion fatigue continuously trying to help people. On one day they want help and on the next day they don't rock up.
Yeah, exactly. And then also you feel like, oh, should I even be doing this? Exactly.
Okay, great. Absolutely, you should be doing this. Fuck it. If you don't do it, who will? I mean, this, and this is why people in society get neglected like this, because it's really it's a hard environment. Okay, so let's now look at how we can improve the take up of the recovery capital that you've got.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a nice coaching intervention. Yeah.
Yes.
How could we get our clients to make better use of our services? Cool. All right. So go and hire a coach to help you with that. 6 sessions. There's a nice outcome. That's how you measure it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Cool. Oh, what a lovely example. I'm salivating. I'm salivating, people. All right, so let's just stop the share for a second. And let's come back to the room. Okay, thank you so much for that. What did you guys learn? Hey, Gwen, you're here. You're back with us. Would you like to check in?
Yes, hi, I'm sorry I'm so late. I had to attend to some urgent work. But thanks, I'm very glad to be here. Thank you.
Well, it's great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what did you guys learn about the system there? Emma?
I don't know.
You're going to learn nothing. You're useless. I'm not getting anything out of this. You're wasting my time. Oh, tough crowd, you lot. Leslie?
Okay, so again, Kiki is she's the client that makes her the
Right.
center of the equation of everything. And it's about her, she's setting up the resources and how they can be effectively utilized. So at the same time where she's getting what she needs, which is to put herself in an interdependent relationship rather than codependent or independent, in which case her organization wouldn't exist.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
That's great. I mean, that was great. Lovely. Thank you.
So one of the roles of a peer recovery specialist is to signpost the clients where the resources are. Yeah. The role of a professional recovery coach is the clients that a professional recovery coach engages in doesn't need to be signposted. Okay. But at the level that we're talking at here, peer recovery is like, okay, well, I know this doctor, I know this feeding scheme, I know this, you know, this place where you can go and get clothes, I know a place where you can go and wash, I know a place where you can. Okay. All right, Kiki.
Yeah.
What's the fear around treatment for them?
Well, you know, like for where I am viewing the situation, I'm obviously viewing it from like I'm like not in it, you know, so I'm viewing it as I only see this person once a week, firstly. And when I see them, and they don't arrive the next day, firstly, I think maybe they don't even know what day it is. And the fear for me is maybe, my fear first is that maybe I never expressed the information properly, like meet me at the shop at 2:00. So I'm like, I can't get hold of somebody to make some, like, also fearing it's my fault. Maybe I should have gone to find, I said, okay, where are you at 2:00? Let me come find you. I don't know. That's a fear of mine. A fear that I have, that they fearing is that maybe they're not ready. Maybe they don't want it. I don't know. Maybe they saw me and they saw the opportunity, and then the next day they thought, oh, I'm not ready. Maybe I'll do it next week. I'm not ready to change my life. I'm scared to, I don't know, lose my identity. I always think, oh, so it's like a breakup. Sometimes I think like, you know, now you're never going to see those people again, those friends. You're not going to be able to come back into this community. I don't know. That's what I think. Yeah.
Okay. So you could always ask them.
I don't see them again. And it's kind of like when I do see them, they run away from me because they never pitched up for that meeting.
Okay. So then there's a sense of shame amongst them, and they don't want to, oh my God, I don't want to see that. Oh, she was so nice to me, and now
Yeah, exactly.
I let her down. She's going to think I wasn't serious.
And then like a couple of months later, I'll see that person again, and then they will say, okay, I'm ready. And then usually the same thing happens. So it's like cat and mouse until eventually they're like, okay, I'm ready. And then I'm like, you know, now you're not sure to be excited or not.
It's a fantastic case study. Okay. So recovery is a process. Making use of resources is a process. And when the crisis happens, it's always good to strike while the iron's hot. So it's nice to get people into treatment as quickly as possible. If you can do it in a day, great. Tell me, which treatment facilities do they get referred to?
Well, firstly, I ask for my client to go to Roman Road to Cape Town Drug Counseling Center and make an appointment with a social worker to get an assessment and get put on a waiting list to go to a detox at Stickland. And then I've got some connections and then I phone my connections and I see, is there a bed available at Stickland? And then hopefully we were working with Inner Peace, but I'm not sure really what's happening there. The last time we were in contact was last year, so I haven't had a new client come on yet. So usually I just phone around, I phone friends and that are also working in the same field and ask, is there beds available, if we can make a plan, because exactly that. And then basically what I want to do is get the person in my car that day and drive them to Stickland. That's the first prize.
Okay, great. So Stickland is a registered facility, and
Yes.
it takes a medical approach to it. Yeah?
Yes.
As opposed to a very heavy moral approach where there's a lot of fear for people. I'm going to go into withdrawal. People are going to preach to me. I'm going to get beaten with a stick or chained up, or there's some very dodgy facilities out there. Yeah. So like a lot of the families that come to our clinic, they're ignorant to what treatment is. Yeah. Like sometimes I'll say, so do you chain them up here? And a couple of times I said, yes, just in that room there, that's where we chain them first. And I'm just joking, I'm just trying to build rapport and be flippant and playful. And like, oh shit, that was a mistake. That was a bad joke. Sorry. And because there's so much misinformation out there. You guys agree?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to go back to that was a great example. All right. So let's just go back to the drawing. Okay. So where's my pen? So the three continuums: codependent, interdependent, independent. Abstinence, harm reduction, addiction. Use, misuse, abuse, dependence. You're in the center. You're in the center, and you identify who the client is. So at this time, we just identified somebody working in the workplace. All right. So let's choose another client now. Let's choose a family member. Okay. So now you have a relationship with a family member.
Thank you. Take care of yourself.
Let's do this study.
Well, then take care. We will see on Saturday. Yes. Thank you. It's okay now. Take care. Bye. Thank you, Ben. Love you too. Thank you.
All right. So let's carry on. Let's talk about a family member. Who might a family member be? Kevin, you're muted, but thanks for sharing.
Yeah, a family member. I mean, it could be someone they're married to, or a child, or a parent, or
Okay.
someone that they love and are concerned about.
All right, cool. So let's make you that person. All right. So come and talk to us.
Okay, so I have this this child, my son.
Father,
and,
son.
yeah, we're really worried about him. You know, he's at school. He's kind of doing okay, but it's going down the tubes a bit. He was really good at school and sport and everything, and then I don't know. Things fell apart financially at home a bit, and I don't know. Things are falling apart. He's not performing. I think his friends have changed. He's changed his friends. I know he's smoking weed, and I suspect that he's using something else as well, because most of the time he just seems, out of it. And when he isn't out of it, he's just aggressive and doesn't want to talk to us.
Okay, fantastic case scenario. All right. So what would you like coaching on today?
I want to find out how to get him to talk to me, to us.
Okay.
I don't want to make decisions for him. I don't want to force him to do anything, but I want to know how much trouble he's in and how much trouble we're in.
Okay. Cool. As you're talking, I'm feeling all sad because I think this is a real scenario in families. Yeah. All right. So what would be helpful for you?
I think what would be helpful is whatever I've tried and we've tried as a family hasn't worked. So, as an expert, as somebody who's seen a lot of addiction, what can you help me see that I'm not seeing? It's all about communication. I do not want to, call the cops and have them arrested, and well, maybe not, but not yet. That would be a last resort.
All right. Does he know you're seeing me today?
No.
No. Okay. Would you like me to see him?
I'd love you to see him. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be great. Yeah.
All right. And what would you like me to coach him on? Because you're going to be paying me to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll tell you now, I cannot get him to stop taking drugs. What I can do is just have a conversation with him about whatever he wants to talk about, just to see where he's at. And what I would say to him is that you've come to see me, that you've got a lot of concern around his schoolwork deteriorating, that you're feeling quite anxious about the family situation in the household at the moment, and you and your is it your wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, you and your wife are quite concerned.
Yeah.
Do you live with your wife?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Does she know that you're seeing me today?
Yes.
What does she say about that? What does she think?
Well, she supports me being here. She just doesn't know what to do. So
Okay.
whatever we do, whatever we're all trying different things. She's more into sort of alternative crystal healing and stuff like that. So she's doing what she does, and I'm doing what I do, and we both support each other in that to just try and change this.
All right.
Get somewhere.
And how does your son respond to your wife's healing crystals?
Well, nothing is working, so I can't point the finger at crystal healing. He thinks all of this is unnecessary, and in fact just gets angry when we even raise. He goes into his room and closes the door. He just goes away.
Okay, and how old is he?
He's 17.
17. And what were you doing at 17 years old?
I was the good guy. I was the nerd. I was I was working at school and trying to get through school, I guess. Yeah, wasn't doing much.
Okay. And your wife?
Yeah, she was also, one of my regrets is I asked my mother if I gave her any trouble when she was raising me, and she said no. And that felt like an indictment. So, but my wife and I, we were both very well behaved, maybe too well behaved.
All right. So this is really difficult for you both.
Yeah, there have been other members of the family that, they've been in either themselves or their children have been in similar situations, and they don't have any answers for us either. It all ended badly. So.
It all ended badly.
Yeah.
Okay. How badly?
Well, the one uncle was, we know, an alcoholic, and I suspect, harder other addictions, and he committed suicide.
Oh shit. Okay. So to have that fear living with you as you look at your son, my son's deteriorating, and we've got mental illness in the family, and oh my God, I'm going to lose my son.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really scary for a parent, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And then your son's looking at you kind of saying, dude, are you mad? Oh, you're overreacting. That's never going to happen to me, and gets up, walks out and slams the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, what's really important, David, is that maybe we are overreacting. I don't know. Maybe it's just a phase. Maybe it's, I would just like someone to be able to speak to him and see if he's okay.
All right. So go and go and see if he'll see me for a session. Yeah. And come with him, and then I'll see him alone, and then I can have a session with the two of you afterwards.
All right.
Just to kind of find out if there is a problem, and what resources are available to you guys as individuals and as a family in this, what is a scary time for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a pleasure. On your way out, will you settle my invoice? Thanks.
Yes, no problem. Do you take cards?
Definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So are you guys starting to see the complexities of the system here? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I was interested to see, David, that you didn't try to coach Kevin, that you asked Kevin if you could see his son.
Yeah. Okay. So that was me, part of coaching, to try and get to see where Kevin was. I asked questions about the wife because I wanted to know what the family situation was. I know there's financial strain in the family. Yeah. And Kevin was really worried about mental illness in his family. Yeah. So now I'm working with the system So the client that's coming back for the second session now is the family. Is this making sense? Yeah? Cool. All right. So let's move on now. Let's move on to, what's your son's name, Kevin?
Charles.
Okay,
Oh, am I
let's have
still not-
Charles. Somebody be Charles. Is this working?
Charles.
Who is that?
It's Kiki.
Hey, Kiki. Hey, how you doing, Charles?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Who is this?
Yeah, my name's David. Your father has asked me to see you because he seems to be very concerned about a problem with drugs and what's going on at school, and so your dad's got a lot of concern. So I've said that I'd see you to just kind of have a conversation with you. I'm a peer recovery coach, and what I'll do is have a conversation with you, and let's just see where it goes. Would you like to have a conversation with me?
Yeah, that's cool.
Is it? Okay, great. What would you like to talk about?
Yeah, it's a bit tough, my dad and my mom. It's tough at the moment. I feel like I don't really have anybody to talk to, so it'd be nice to talk to you. Because they're busy stressing all the time about money, and I just don't even want to tell them my problems.
It's a fuck up, huh? Do you mind if I swear?
If you want to.
Okay. All right. So how's your life?
I've got a good life, I just, I think I'm a bit stressed, and so I can understand why my dad's seeing some changes in me. Before I never used to think about money, but obviously now that we don't have that much money, it's starting to stress me out. I'm starting to think about, like, what's gonna happen after school? Like, are we gonna have money? Must I go to work immediately? I was always thinking maybe I could travel. So I'm feeling a bit stressed, and sometimes just smoking something, I don't feel so stressed anymore.
Oh, what do you smoke?
I'm just smoking some weed. It's legal now. You're allowed to do it.
I know. Are you growing your own weed?
No, my dad, I don't think he would. Like, I don't want to actually tell him. Please don't tell my dad.
Okay, sure. I won't tell him. But I mean, he's come to me because he thinks you've got a problem with weed.
I wouldn't call it a problem. I don't think I have a problem. I think it takes away my problems. I'm feeling actually more relaxed.
Did you feel relaxed? Okay. All right. So where do you get your weed from?
You can get it everywhere. I just buy like one like little bag, and it lasts me like a month. It's not expensive. It's a lot cheaper than drinking.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of drink at school, huh? So you're not a drinker?
No, I don't like drinking, and also you can't like drink and go to school.
Okay. So you smoke before you go to school?
Yeah, I walk to school, so I do it before school, so then I feel more chilled at school.
Okay. And which school do you go to?
I go to DF Milan.
DF Milan. Okay. And how's your school marks going?
I'm doing so well at school. I don't know why my dad's complaining. It's like actually the first time that I see my marks getting better in a while. Like, I think I'm more chilled. I'm more happy just to like read, and like, I'm not going out so much.
So let me get this right. From your perspective, you're staying at home, you're smoking dope to take away the stress, and from that your marks are improving at school.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think it's working for me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So your dad's completely off the mark then, huh?
You know, I think he's a bit nervous because maybe seeing some new faces, like, you know, definitely maybe started hanging around with a bit of a different crowd, but they get me. My other crowd doesn't really smoke, so they're so judgery.
Judgery.
Yeah, they're judgy, you know. They're
Is
always
it?
calling me red-eyed Jedi. Yeah, they're rude.
Red-eyed Jedi. Hey, the red-eyed Jedi. Okay. That's funny. All right. So, so have any of your friends got drug problems?
I don't call weed a drug, so I don't think so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm not sure what to say to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling actually like, I don't know. I feel like I'm glad you phoned because I want my dad to know the truth. I don't like lying to him. And yeah, and I think if he thinks that I have a problem, maybe I do have a problem. I don't know. I'm just a kid. But yeah, I feel kind of honored that he's taken a secret agent to talk to me.
A secret agent talking to the red-eyed Jedi. Cool. Okay. I tell you what, would you be open to me, you and your dad having a conversation?
Yo. But he's just,
Yo.
but yeah, but you can't tell him what I told you, you know, please.
No, I won't tell him that, but I'll give you the opportunity to tell him what you feel comfortable with. But what I will say is that you definitely don't think you've got a problem.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Thank you, man. We should hang
Cool.
out.
Cool. My red-eyed Jedi. Cool, bro. All right. Okay. All right. So let's carry on. Now let's see the both of them. Okay, Kevin. Hi, welcome back. Thanks. I've just had a nice chat with your son.
Yes.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Ask him.
Ask him.
Yeah, he's in the room with us.
Oh, okay. So Charlie, how'd it go?
Thanks, Dad. I never knew we had money to spend on psychologists.
Yeah, but this one's really cheap, you know.
Yeah. So Charlie, let me just tell you, I'm not a psychologist, yeah? I'm not a social worker. I'm not a therapist. I'm a peer recovery specialist. And what a peer recovery specialist is someone that's taken their lived experience and learned how their lived experience could help someone else. Yeah, so I work with a lot of people that started off at school smoking dope and then got into a lot of trouble. Yeah, so that's what my role is. And there's a whole lot of resources out there available for people when they get into trouble, but it's not me to tell people where to go or what to do. So I'm not a therapist. I'm a coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Cool.
Yeah, and Charles, just so you understand, your mum and I are really worried about what's going on.
Yeah, I'm worried about you guys.
Yeah, I was going to ask why, but I suppose I can understand that. There have been a lot of changes, and it just feels like, that you're just not there for us anymore. I don't know, we just don't seem to be able to talk anymore. And I do notice that you're smoking a lot of weed, and I have noticed that you're growing weed, and to me, your friends have changed. They're a strange bunch, to be honest. I mean, we kind of got on with your old. So we're really worried, and we're worried that you are not going to get the kind of matric pass that you were going to get, and because we can't afford to send you anywhere to study. So I guess we kind of, not to put you under pressure, but we're kind of hoping that your results would hold so you could get a bursary or something.
So Charlie, is that your baby? Did you have a teenage pregnancy?
Yeah, that's just my little baby. Thanks, Dad. I'm so glad you care about me. I'm sorry I've been using your garden as a harvesting plantation.
So Charlie, how do you feel about your dad knowing that you grow dope and that you smoke a lot of ganja and your friends are changed, and that your school marks are different?
I feel sad, Dad. I didn't want you to think I'm a loser. That's why I was hiding it from you. It just makes me feel better. It's like a stress reliever.
Okay, all right. So you told me a different story.
Yeah, but now that you got me with my big man, the truth's coming out.
Okay, all right. All right. Well, thanks for being honest. And I get it's difficult to be honest. So I just want to check the facts in. So you are growing ganja, you are smoking a lot of ganja, and your school marks aren't as good as you told me they were.
Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna talk to my dad. I thought that it was just between us. I didn't want to seem like a loser.
Okay, and it's really important for me that, because like I said, I'm not in a therapeutic relationship with you, but I did ask your dad to come in just so we can get the stuff out in the open.
Yeah.
Kevin, is it all right if I talk about the session that me and you had?
Yeah.
Because one of the things that you said was in your family history, there was a suicide of an uncle. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And one of your concerns is that you're really kind of worried that Charlie might go that way.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to him?
I mean, Charlie, you know about Uncle Dimitri, right? I mean, he was a straight arrow and he was a really straight guy. And then he started, he started drinking and then maybe something else certainly. And, it eventually killed him. He took his own life. You know the story, right?
Yeah, that's why I don't drink, Dad.
Yeah, and I'm really grateful for that. I really am. But it feels like, certainly to your mum and I, it feels like our changed circumstances, and that you're taking the pressure and you're reacting in the same way that Uncle Dem did, and like putting yourself to sleep with drugs, of alcohol, weed, it really doesn't know what we're talking about here. So that's our big fear, and I just want you to know that, I don't know, I'm no expert whether this weed is a gateway drug or whatever that even means. I just know that by choosing to start on a path like that, it becomes, you're in an environment where you have access to other stuff. Let's be honest, yeah? So we're kind of scared that, I guess there's something in the family that maybe is coming out in you. And I just want to know, your mum and I just want to know that you're okay, that we're okay. I think that's the important thing. I think what's hurt more then anything here is that you won't talk to us. It feels like you just.
Yeah. Maybe Dad, this is a good idea. Like this guy, you said he's not expensive, and maybe he can help us talk to each other. Because yeah, I just feel like I can't talk to you guys. So maybe we should do this more. Maybe that will be a solution.
Okay, I'm sure we can manage that because really we need to learn to talk to each other without help. Huh? We need to find a way to do that.
Okay, guys. I'll tell you what. Why don't we have one more session next week? Yeah. Why don't the two of you go off after this? And I'm okay to work with you both, and to see you together. And yeah, let's see where we're at.
Yeah. Great. I'm good with that, Charles.
Would you like some homework?
More homework.
Well, I'm thinking like going off to see a movie together, or going something that's an activity that's just the two of you.
That would be I would like that.
Yeah, that would be nice. Can we bring Sarah?
Is that the mother of the baby you've got?
Yes.
Of course you can. You know we like her.
I'm in. We in.
Sure. All right, guys. I'll see you the same time next week.
Great.
Cool.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, David, and thanks, Charles, for doing this. It's really lifted a load.
Okay, cool. Okay, time out, end of role play. Thank you. That bloody red-eyed Jedi was giving me a hard time. I really wanted to, it's legal now. You can grow it. I don't grow it myself. My school marks are fine. Eh? Yeah. And as for the poor father, oh my God, I just wanted to burst into tears for him the whole time. Hey? Oh, it felt so sad for me. Okay. So guys, just to let you know what I did while I was scribbling here on the model, I started off with the father. Then I met with the son, and then I brought them in together to coach the relationship. Does that make sense? And as the truth came out from both sides, I would make the assessment that the child is at misuse. Yeah. So that's where I am in the system. I made it clear that I wasn't a therapist. I hope I made it clear.
Yeah, really.
So I redefined the role. Yeah. So I'm a peer recovery specialist that's got some lived experience, that's here to, yeah. Is that making sense? Yeah. Okay. What did you guys notice? What would you have done? What would you have said?
So for me, the most powerful thing that you did was to call him, and you did it in a really good way. Call him on his bullshitting during your session with him. Okay. But you did it in a way, it just felt the volume was right. It wasn't judging. It was kind of amused. You met him really well.
So culture of learning, culture of addiction, culture of recovery. Yeah. So the teenage kid is over here. Yeah. The school intervention program was they most probably got somebody that was down here and said, kids, don't do drugs. Your life's going to end up disastrous. Your perspective was, here's Uncle Dimitri, yeah, that you're going to end up like him. From his perspective up there, he's kind of looking across and just saying, oh, you know, those adults just don't want me to have fun. I'm just using, maybe misusing. Does that make sense? The distance between the teenage psyche and Dimitri is like miles apart. But for you as the parent, you really relate down here as, does that make sense? So there's no point trying to scream and shout at him and saying, don't do it, because they're not going to be able to relate. So there's going to be natural dishonesty because, like, who are you? I don't trust you. You're one of these adults that have come here. Like, what the? You're just talking shit to me. But I'll play along and be compliant and, yeah. So if I'd screamed and shouted and said, you liar, you're well with us, got to hold him accountable, that would broken down the ability to build trust and rapport. Yeah. In the beginning, I swore. Yeah. And I said, do you mind if I swear? Often saying that helps build rapport because the client then goes, oh, okay. Because I promise you, teenager kids are very different with their peers than they are with their parents. Yeah. And that's why I don't. Yeah, sure. Please do.
No, I was just going to ask you, you did that thing that you also did in that session with Michelle. You said, I don't know what to say now. Why do you, I'm interested in why you do that.
Because what I want to do is to put the work back on the relationship. I want these guys to work it out. I'm not trained as a professional to tell them what to do. I'm trained as a professional to tell them that I don't know. And it's a difficult skill set to get paid to say, I don't know, what are you going to do? But I'll hold the space for you to work it out.
Okay.
Charlie, how was that for you? Oh, he's run off with his teenage girlfriend.
No, I'm here. I forgot I'm Charlie. It was
Sorry about
good.
the name. Huh?
No, it's good. I think the container was really nice, and I think that created a space of I could be as Charlie vulnerable. I think, and often I think in a relationship you often try and want to be strong, and I think now that you put into this container of like, when you said that, oh, your dad's worried about you, it's like care and concern. It made me feel special, it made me feel like, oh, they're actually caring about me. This is for my own good. It wasn't an attack on my personality. That's what I liked.
Okay. Cool. All right. So did somebody want to say something? Timothy, do you want to add anything? Okay. So what you're trying to do is get detachment in the family system. Yeah. That the parents can kind of detach in a healthy way and kind of get here. And Charlie becomes accountable for his own consequences. Is that making sense? That they take responsibility for their behavior as they're descending down here. Yeah. And then at the bottom here, to provide support. So support lives in this area down here. How can we support this person in the process? Now, in this situation, he's supporting his own addiction. Yeah, he's growing his own dope and doing what he is. And the parents are freaking out and worried. So I would be one of the goals I would like to see is how a mum and dad looking after themselves, knowing that they've got to let go of their son that's coming to that age that might end up dying like their uncle Dimitri. Because it's the fear in the family system that's trying to, and it's hard for parents.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that wraps up day 3. Yeah.
Just a question, David, if I may. You made the assessment, and I'm not going to be able to get inside your head because I'm sure that comes with a lifetime of experience. But you made the assessment that he was misusing rather than abusing. Can you just speak about that?
So the way that you measure an addiction is through the consequences. Yeah. And the consequences of his addiction were what?
Well, certainly some school results, breakdown of family relationship, change in friends. That's pretty much it.
Okay. All right. 17 years old, doesn't drink alcohol, smokes dope, his marks haven't gone that bad. Yeah. The parents are conservative. Yeah. There's a sense of regret and remorse that they didn't jaw more when they were growing up. Yeah.
That's real.
Huh?
I said, that's real.
Yeah. Listen, in an ideal world, yeah, we would love it if people took drugs when they were 25 years old, when the brain has matured. The challenge is, though, that, okay, let me just draw it quickly. How are we doing, guys? Huh? Are you getting what you wanted out your valuable time? Leslie, you're still sticky in there even though you're as bored as fuck?
Not at all bored. I told you. I'm so glad I'm here. Thank you.
Okay. Who's got children?
What, me?
Who's got children?
Me.
Yeah? Yeah? Okay. Yeah. It's not easy, yeah?
Mm.
I was amazed.
Actually, Charlie could be my son.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a... Yes, Gwen?
I was amazed at how they changed roles, because Charlie was much more assertive than Kevin and much more frightened. And yeah, I was quite struck by that. It's usually the other way around.
It felt like a very real case scenario.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it did.
I was, yeah, okay.
You was?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Carry on.
When someone starts using at 25 years old, their brain has adultified. Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. And what happens is when people start using it, say 14 years old, life events start to happen. So I broke up with my girlfriend. I don't know. I failed my driver's license. Whatever all these kind of little kind of micro traumas are, that what happens is the guys use to help with those feelings. So what happens is they don't learn how to respond to those feelings as adults. Yeah. So what happens is when people come into treatment at, say, 30 years old, this person comes into treatment and they go into the outside world, they start to respond and react like bloody teenagers. Does that make sense? Because they haven't worked out the emotional maturity to respond at the appropriate age level. Now, what happens for the kind of the other person, the kind of the normal person there that behaved themselves, they look at this person and they think, what is going on with this person's behavior? You know, like we send them off to rehab, they come back, they're madder than when they went in. And then that puts a whole lot of systemic pressure on the relationship. Yeah. So that's just another thing to be kind of aware of, where coaching can really help somebody. Yeah. And be supportive. Cool. Right. Any questions?
So, yeah, are you doing this from a place of conscious competence? So are you consciously looking at your interaction with Charlie, with Dad, and making choices in the direction your coaching is going to take? Or are you feeling kind of like just flowing with it? How does that work?
So hopefully I'm unconsciously competent, and I can really dance in the moment and make it up as I go along. And as I'm doing that, I'm listening to where the conversation's going and how I can teach this stuff to you guys. So that's the the internal kind of self-management as I'm talking to you.
Okay. Thanks. Lots going on. Thanks.
Yeah, no, it's a complex, we go into complex systems where we're trying to shift the culture.
Yeah, but as well, what I'm seeing as well, as you said, it's like an unconscious competence. So that makes it a lot easier than having to analyze and decide and make judgments and choices as you're going along with it, which it didn't seem like you were doing. So I just wondered how well practiced you were.
I've been doing this a lot. And the downside of that is when I talk to my kids, they go, Dad, don't coach me. And with my kids, I'm a father. I'm not a coach. And when my 17-year-old son was caught smoking grass at school, yeah, I didn't respond like the coach. I responded like the father. What are you doing? Are you mad?
I'm really pleased to hear that, David.
I'd like to say one thing. I'd like to say something to Leslie, if I may. It's more of it's as much a question as I think clients pick up very quickly if the coach is feeling scared and insecure and self-conscious. And it's bad. It's not good to be that. I don't know. I do this myself, Leslie, and I'm very aware that the worst thing one can do in any coaching situation is make it contrived, where one is sitting thinking of what's the right thing to ask. No, they sense it. It becomes artificial. And I personally believe that it's, even if it's the wrong, and inverted commas wrong, close inverted commas question to ask, it's better an authentic wrong question than an inauthentic contrived right one. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Is that Gwen?
Sorry?
Gwen, thank you. Yeah, that does make huge sense. And
I've done that too, yeah.
To just relax as well. I think Dave said as well, every time he goes into a session, he gets a little bit nervous. Did I remember that right? So it is, but yeah, as you go into it, to just relax with it and let it go in whichever direction. So That's really helpful to stay your authentic self. It works on so many levels in so many different situations.
Yeah, David's a master coach, and he really is unconsciously competent. It's second nature to him. But for people like me, and I'm guessing for you, it's very, very far from that. And one always has to battle with one's awareness of oneself. And oh my God, what if this is the wrong thing? And then I remember getting a very valuable piece of advice from somebody, like make an honest mistake rather than a contrived right move.
Yeah,
Because
that's a good idea.
so I don't know how
Right.
I don't know how David feels about that. I've just taken I'm sorry, David, if I've said the wrong thing.
Not at all. Okay. So what have been some of the key learnings here?
Make an honest mistake rather than a contrived right move.
Good. Cool.
Love it.
God, I'm sorry.
I also liked when you said that when we coaching, we are by saying, I don't know what to say here. It's by working that relationship, so you can actually, you're grafting and like getting more information back. You say, I don't know what to say here. It's like I don't have the solution, but you're not saying that. You're just saying, I don't know what to say. I like that. And I think I'm going to use that a lot.
Yeah, I like that too.
I loved it when you expressed to Charlie that you weren't a therapist, and the words that you used were, you're just somebody who's lived through an experience and you're using it to help someone else. Because I think if we approach the client from that perspective, then that's just it. Then we can be honest and authentic and have something useful to offer.
I love that you made it clear to Kevin, I can't stop your son taking drugs. That was clear from the get-go.
Timothy, would you like to say something?
Yeah, yeah. For me, what got me when you were swearing and you asked him if it's okay, I think that took you to, well, you went down to his level. I'm sure as teenagers, such things, but when they get to adults, then they want to behave in certain way, like portray good manners, like they don't do that. But when you did that, it showed him that no, you are at his level, you understand, and you know what is going on. So it made him to open up more, so that he identified with you. Yeah.
The red-eyed Jedi. Emma, did you want to say something?
I was going to say the same thing, actually, just that it's important to get down to their level, so that you break down that hierarchical relationship, so they can open up, so they relax with you.
Cool. Great. Okay. So tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the certification path. And where we are at the moment is we've done this as a webinar. And if you guys want to come along and get certified, there's a whole training path for you guys to come along and become master coaches. But we'll go into that tomorrow. Yeah. I always feel a bit embarrassed here because it feels like I'm upselling, but this is what I'm doing. I'm upselling. I'm trying to hook you in. So let's just get the money out of the way. It's $10 to register on the platform, and to become a certified peer recovery specialist is $249. Yeah. So that's the pricing of it. And I'll move away from that slide because I still have my own demons about money. I could do with some coaching. Who wants to coach me?
I'm happy to. Would you like to know my fee? So, cross my palm with silver and we'll coach as long as you like.
Did Kimon check out?
Yes, it seems.
Yes, I'm checking out quickly. I didn't want to disturb you guys. I have to go. Thank you so much. I'm leaving feeling more empowered and stronger. I can do this.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much, guys.
Where are you, red-eyed ninja? We know where you're going, don't we?
Eat cake. Aww.
Oh,
Thank you so much, guys. Ciao.
thanks, Kimon. Kiki. Very nice.
Okay, so let's stop streaming. Thank you, everyone, for coming and watching.